Welcome to today's episode of EB Soulful Conversations. I'm your host, Tanae. If you're someone who's seeking to grow closer to God while also focusing on personal growth, wellness, and creating a better lifestyle, then this podcast is definitely for you. Make sure to subscribe because each season I'll drop powerful episodes where we dive into how you can combine all of these elements to better understand who you are, how you become the person you are today, and how you can start seeing yourself the way that God sees you. All of this is about stepping into a life of purpose. So if that resonates with you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because I'm so excited to have you on this journey with me. So today we're going to be wrapping up this season with a real and raw conversation, and we're going to be talking about power struggles and dealing with people who always gotta be in control. Now, look, I know we've all been there, and we have dealt with supervisors, we, have dealing with friends, our partners, and we even have our family to deal with. Someone who just can't seem to let go of that need to control everything. And these are people who will drain you, who will confuse you, and honestly throw you off mentally just because they have a power struggle. So today we're going to get real. We're going to talk about these power struggles. We're going to talk about understanding people who need to control. But most importantly, we want to talk about how to keep your sanity and not get caught up in their mess. So if we're going to go ahead and get into it, I just want to first begin by talking about understanding power struggles and what it really is. So a power struggle is when you go back and forth like a tug of war with two or more people who are battling for control. You ever been in a conversation where it felt like you were talking to a wall? Like, no matter what you say, the other person gotta have one up. They gotta have the last word. They shoot down your ideas, and that's a power struggle. Or have you ever been in a situation where someone always gotta make a decision for you and tell you what to do? Like, they know what's best for you, as if you don't know any better? Yeah, that's somebody that needs control. And you know what? A power struggle doesn't just happen in those big heated moments. You have power struggles in little daily interactions. It could be with a coworker who refuses to listen to your feedback, or maybe a friend who can't respect your plans without trying to change them. It's that constant back and forth when you feel like you're not really being heard, and it's always a battle to get a word in. Now, knowing what you're dealing with is the first step to handle persons that are having that need to control everything. So we're going to go here into talking about those type of people that always need to have to control every situation. Now, these are the folks who either consciously or subconsciously feel like they can't feel secure unless they are calling the shots. They need to have the upper hand in every situation, every conversation, every plan. If you're not on board with their ways, then most of the time they don't want to do it. They make you feel like you're out of line, that you're wrong, that you don't know what you're talking about or don't know what you're doing if you're not following their lead. People who need control, they are often scared people. They are often insecure people. These people are really struggling with their own stuff, yet they use control as a defense mechanism. They think if they can control everything, they can protect themselves from feeling vulnerable or out of control in their own lives. And that's when the power struggle gets messy. They act like they're just trying to help or they know what's best, but what they're really doing is feeding their own need for power and validation. So before you go head to head with somebody that's having a power struggle, please remember it's not personal. It's about their own fears and insecurities and not yours. All right, now, how do you know when you're dealing with the power struggle? Okay, so let me give you some signs, some things to look out for. The first thing I want to talk about is constant pushback. You may make a suggestion, you may offer an idea, and instead of being met with your open mind, it's shut down, it's twisted into something that really doesn't fit their narrative. You start to feel like no matter what you say, it's never enough for them. And then there's this guilt trip and this manipulation. So they know exactly how to make you feel bad for speaking your truth. And they'll use guilt, they'll use shame, they'll play the victim to get their way, like, oh, I'm just doing this for your own good. You just don't understand. Things like that. Look for this too. There's no room for compromise. If it's not their way, it's the highway. If it's not their way, it's no way. There's no space for you to have a say or make any adjustments if you don't agree with them. You're then simply wrong. And there's another thing to look for, and that's you being left feeling drained. So after you've interacted with this person, you're emotionally wiped out. They'll have you questioning yourself, doubting your own ideas. Your energy will be drained. It just doesn't feel good. I don't know if anybody has dealt with that. Does it sound familiar? But those are signs of a power struggle. And now that we've heard about it and we've discussed it, we need to get into how we can handle it. Let's get into how we handle people who feel like they need to control everything. First, stop letting them take your power. Here's how to protect your peace, your sanity while dealing with them. You want to set boundaries. And we've talked about this before. Set boundaries with no apologies. Listen, the key to not getting caught up in their drama is setting clear boundaries. And I'm not talking about vague ones, like get into it, get detailed. I mean, let them know straight up what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. Do not be afraid to say things like, I need to make my own decisions here, or I can't do that right now. No need to explain or apologize, because why? Your sanity is non-negotiable. Your peace is non-negotiable. Also, what I would need for you to do when dealing with people like this is stay calm. Don't feed the drama. When someone is trying to control you, it's easy to get emotional. It's easy to get defensive, but don't fall for the bait. When they try to get a rise out of you, stay chill, stay peaceful, stay calm, take a deep breath, respond from a place of calm and not chaos. Do not let their insecurities disrupt your sanity. And now, once you do that, know your worth. This is important. People who try to control you or control others, they want you to doubt your own value, to doubt your own judgment. But you know your worth. Don't let their need to dominate make you second guess yourself. Trust your instincts. You've got the power to make decisions and you know what's best for you. And then pick your battles with them. Everything doesn't need to be a showdown. Everything don't need to be a tussle. Sometimes it's okay to let the little things slide. You don't need to fight for control in every situation. If it's hurting you, then let it go. But if it's something big, something that's going to affect your well-being, something that's going to affect your family, something that's going to affect your values, something that's going to affect what you stand firm in, then that's something different. You address it a certain way. And then also, if need be, get support. If this person is really toxic, if this person is really manipulative, don't be afraid to get outside help. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody, a trusted friend, a coach, a therapist, a clergy, somebody who you know can help you see things clearly and give you the tools to handle a situation or handle a person that's putting you through this. You do not have to do this alone. The goal here isn't to change them or to fight them for control. It's about empowering yourself to stand strong in your own space, not allowing them to come into your bubble and control it. At the end of the day, power struggles are about reclaiming your own power. When you set boundaries, when you know your worth, when you stop letting others dictate your life, you take back control. Real power comes from knowing who you are and staying true to your values, regardless of what anyone else says, regardless of what anyone else tries to throw at you. If you're dealing with someone who can't stop trying to control you, you do not have to play into their game. Sometimes they just want a reaction, and that may make you shut down. But stay in your lane, protect your peace. Don't let anyone steal your joy. You're in charge of your own story, and that's what really matters. So if you're dealing with somebody who's having a power struggle, I hope you've got some tools in your belt to deal with the people who you think they need to control everything. I need you to remember that it's not about fighting for control. You do not have to do that. It's about knowing your worth and protecting your peace. So I want to leave you with this thought today. True strength isn't about control over others, but about finding peace within yourself. When you choose to focus on your growth and your well being, you step into power that no external struggle can take away from you. I thank you so much for tuning into EB Soulful Conversations. If this episode helped you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. Be sure to subscribe, leave a review if you found this episode meaningful. Please keep in mind that you are worthy of peace and you can reclaim your inner strength. Until next time, stay free, stay calm, but most importantly, stay true to yourself.